The stockpile has fallen to levels not seen since the 1960s, while China has embarked on an unprecedented nuclear buildup.
A sweeping cyber attack campaign out of China targeting U.S. government and private networks. Reports say even the agency that designs America's nuclear weapons.
China has rapidly increased its missile arsenal. This is a menacing challenge to the United States.
What if China could quietly render America's nuclear deterrent ineffective? Recent reports suggest Beijing is no longer just expanding its arsenal. It's building the means to disrupt the entire U.S. nuclear response chain. Through advanced hypersonic systems, satellite targeting, and communication interference, China may be developing a playbook to neutralize key elements of America's defenses. In this video, we explore the evolving technologies, strategic goals, real-world implications of this development, and why understanding it is critical in today's shifting global balance. China's strategic nuclear shift. For decades, China maintained a limited nuclear posture focused on basic deterrence. But that strategy has undergone a seismic shift. According to the 2025 Stockholm International Peace Research Institute (SIPRI) report, China now has over 600 nuclear warheads, a significant increase from just a few years ago. This pace of growth is unmatched and signals an intent to become a nuclear power on par with the United States and Russia. By 2035, China could possess up to 1,500 warheads, transforming the strategic landscape. This growth isn't limited to numbers. China is rapidly modernizing the delivery platforms for these warheads. It has expanded its intercontinental ballistic missile (ICBM) fleet, including the DF-41. Capable of carrying multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, MIRVs. The DF-31AG, a mobile ICBM with improved survivability, adds flexibility. At sea, China continues to deploy advanced ballistic missile submarines, SSBNs, such as the Type 094A, equipped with JL-3 missiles that can reach the continental U.S. from Chinese waters. Additionally, the Chinese Air Force is incorporating strategic bombers into its triad, particularly the H-6N, which has been spotted with potential air-launched ballistic missiles. These platforms support a more resilient and layered nuclear strategy. Satellite systems also play a growing role. China has launched dozens of satellites dedicated to positioning, surveillance, early warning, and encrypted military communications. These space assets form the foundation of a modern command and control system essential to sustaining a secure nuclear posture. Together, these upgrades suggest a deliberate shift toward a more flexible and survivable force. Rather than relying solely on the threat of retaliation, China is building systems to maintain operational readiness, assure leadership continuity, and potentially introduce strategic ambiguity. This modernization allows China to deter adversaries more confidently, and in some scenarios, deny them confidence in their deterrent capabilities. The disabling framework. While China's growing arsenal is significant, its most consequential development may lie in its ability to undermine adversary readiness. The concept is simple. Rather than matching the U.S. in volume, Beijing is investing in technologies that make America's response options less reliable. This strategy blends advanced missiles, orbital delivery systems, and electronic disruption to erode the integrity of critical defense infrastructure. One of the most discussed elements of this strategy is the revival of the Fractional Orbital Bombardment System, FOBS. Unlike conventional ICBMs, FOBS can enter low Earth orbit, such as the South Pole, where detection coverage is weaker. In 2021, China tested such a system using a hypersonic glide vehicle, a maneuverable warhead capable of flying at over Mach 5 and evading missile defenses. Analysts believe this technology has since matured. The DFCF, China's operational hypersonic glide vehicle, is designed to bypass traditional missile defense systems. Its ability to alter trajectory mid-flight significantly reduces the time available for detection and response. When paired with a FOBS-like delivery, these systems offer strategic flexibility that could target critical infrastructure with high accuracy. Disabling a nuclear deterrent doesn't require targeting warheads directly. Instead, it involves striking at the command, control, and communication systems, C3, that enable a coordinated response. China's anti-satellite capabilities, demonstrated through systems like the Shenzhen 21 can approach and potentially interfere with U.S. satellites that support early warning and navigation. Degrading these assets during a crisis would delay detection and decision-making. Electronic warfare and cyber capabilities also contribute. China has developed systems capable of jamming or spoofing satellite signals, which could disrupt global positioning systems, GPS, and timing signals relied upon by nuclear forces. Cyber intrusions into sensitive military networks could introduce uncertainty or interfere with authentication protocols needed for strategic decision-making. Submarine detection efforts have also advanced. China is deploying undersea surveillance networks in key maritime regions and investing in space-based systems to track oceanic movements. While U.S. ballistic missile submarines remain the most survivable element of its deterrent, enhanced detection capabilities could reduce their strategic invulnerability. By targeting these enablers of nuclear posture, instead of the weapons themselves, China can create a window of doubt. If decision-makers are unsure of their ability to confirm or coordinate a response, they may hesitate. That hesitation is what China's disabling framework is designed to exploit. Impacts on global stability. The implications of China's new strategic posture extend beyond U.S.-China dynamics. It reshapes global assumptions about deterrence, arms control, and the thresholds of engagement. For the first time, the United States is facing two peer competitors with expanding and modernizing nuclear arsenals. Historically, U.S. nuclear planning was based on a bilateral standoff with Russia. China's previous force levels were considered too limited to threaten strategic stability. That assumption no longer holds. With over 600 warheads and growing, China now has enough capability to influence regional and global calculations. This change forces a reevaluation of U.S. nuclear policy. The Pentagon's 2025 report acknowledges that the U.S. must now consider how to deter two technologically advanced nuclear powers simultaneously. The Department of Defense is exploring enhancements to its own triad, including next-generation bombers, submarines, and command systems to ensure resilience against emerging threats. China's rapid advancement also strains existing arms control frameworks. Agreements like New START, which limit warhead numbers and delivery platforms, do not include China. As a result, there is no formal mechanism to manage the growth of China's capabilities or verify its intentions. Without multilateral agreements, transparency remains limited, raising the risk of misinterpretation. Regionally, the shift may affect the security perceptions of U.S. allies. Countries like Japan and South Korea depend on extended deterrence guarantees from Washington. If those guarantees are perceived as less credible due to potential disruption, these nations may consider independent deterrent capabilities, which could further destabilize the region. India, already engaged in strategic competition with China, may also accelerate its modernization programs. The result could be a cascading effect of nuclear expansion across Asia, with fewer constraints and greater complexity. The broader concern is the erosion of predictability. Deterrence relies on confidence, the belief that each side can and will respond if attacked. When that confidence is shaken, decision-making becomes more volatile. In a crisis, the fear of losing strategic communication or early warning capabilities could lead to hasty decisions or overreactions. China's developments don't necessarily signal intent to act, but they do change the calculations. As systems become more sophisticated and harder to track, the risk of misunderstanding or technical failure grows. Ensuring stability in this environment will require new frameworks, open communication, and adaptive strategies that reflect these new realities. China is rapidly developing the tools to disrupt America's nuclear readiness, not by outgunning it, but by targeting its space, cyber, and command infrastructure. This script reveals how advanced technologies could delay or disable U.S. responses, raising urgent questions about deterrence, stability, and the evolving balance of global power.